Alright, we're going to go ahead and hop on into another AKH here. I'm just going to do the draft for now. If I get to another chance to record the videos for gameplay another time, I will do that. But basically, I just want to have an opportunity to actually go through the draft and record and talk about my thoughts on the cards, because I haven't actually gotten to do that yet. So take a few minutes here to wait for the other players to queue up, and we will go ahead in just a sec. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at our first pack as soon as it populates. So we've got Prepare to Fight as our rare, which is a very good card. Possibly not first pickable depending on what else is in the pack, but even just, if you, like, the thing is, you don't like to pick gold cards first, but Prepare is good enough on its own, especially in an Exert deck, that it's a great trick. Just being able to fight later is really just gravy, and pretty good gravy at that. Um, our uncommons are fine. Gate to the Afterlife is not really a card. I've never actually tried it, but it doesn't seem to be very good. Labyrinth Guardian, Vizier, Tumbling Sands are both quite good. Happy to grab those, but probably not first. Look through the commons, and Colossus Speed's playable. Shimmer Scale Drake is playable. Unburden's playable, but to no one's surprise here, I'm going to grab the Magma Spray. Widely deemed to be the best common in the set, and I don't think I would disagree with that at all. So I'm going to take that here, and just keep in mind that I'm passing a fairly strong blue deck, so that might push me out of some fringe blue picks. Nothing else particularly noteworthy. There's one green card, there's one white card worth playing, so it's only blue that I'm going to be at all cautious of. Not much good red going through either. Okay, so back to here. Enigma Drake is incredible. I love me a good blue-red spells deck, so that's a pretty tempting way to follow up on a Magma Spray. I don't like committing to a gold card this early. I'm not 100% to play Magma Spray. I'm likely to. And Enigma Drake is basically a blue card then at that point. It's saying you are now playing blue. But it might be the pick. Let's see what else is in here. Approach is a sweet card. I really do like it. I haven't had a chance to win with it, but I've seen people do it. And if I get a control kind of deck, Magma Spray can fit there, but I don't know really about that. Enigma Drake might just be the pick. Cartouche is fine, Vizier is fine, but I do want something to match red. I'm not going to pick the Kenra. So really it's in between the Enigma Drake and Approach. And red-white control is not really a deck. Synchronized Strike also excellent, by the way, but I think the Drake is better, actually. Yeah, you know what? Last minute change to Synchronized Strike, because this is basically saying I'm green, the Drake is basically saying I'm blue, and in a vacuum, I think the Synchronized Strike is better than the Drake. Depends on the deck heavily, but yeah, I think more things have to come together to make the blue-red deck work, but that could have been a mistake. It was a pretty last minute change, and I'm not going to lie, I considered swapping back last minute too. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Consuming Fervor is cool, but not great. This is bad. Blazing Volley is sideboard. Claw Speed's fine, playable. Essence Scatter is good. Vitalist is possibly a pick here. Pursue Glory is fine, but I want to be in the go wide deck before I start picking those. And along the bottom here, these are all kind of playable cards, but the one that stands out is Takrop Elite. I have a Magma Spray. And those are kind of the bookends of that deck. Magma Spray down at 1, and Takrop Elite up at 4 to make that work. So I'm going to snap this up and see if I can put together the red-white aggro deck that tears things up pretty good. Here what do we have? Angler Drake is by far the best card, but is it the pick? Again, there's a lot of good blue going through, so I don't expect to see a lot of blue coming back pack 2. My pack 1 was pass a few solid blue cards. Here I'm going to pass a few, like all 4 blue cards here will make most blue decks. So, kind of wish I had that Drake right now, but whatever. That happened. I guess Anointer Priest is playable in the white-red deck. Angler Drake is just a far better card though, and Anointer Priest would get cut from the deck if for almost anything else. So I'm going to take the Angler Drake. Obviously I'm only playing 2 of my first 4 picks here, but I'm okay with that. Oh wait, look, I can grab so this is interesting. So I can grab a final reward and just have full-on Wooburg 5 colors after 5 picks, which is not a great place to be. Certainly not my favorite place to be, but it is a sign that no one has been grabbing black cards because Final Reward is fairly premium removal. Um, the other options here are synchronized. A second synchronized strike is just as good as the first. Bitterblade Warrior is playable, and Splendid Agony is playable but worse than Final Reward. Um, I think I'd rather be open to black than have two synchronized strikes. As weird as this is going to be taking my fifth color in 5 picks, but I'm going to go ahead and do that and see what happens. Okay, well now I kind of get rewarded-ish. Um, Destined to Lead is a huge payoff for being in black-green. It's just a crazy good card. Bounty's fine, but it doesn't look so far like I'm playing blue-green. I love blue-green, but it doesn't look like I'm playing blue-green. Even-ish, it's fine, but blue is kind of my fifth choice of colors to play based on what I've got so far. And nothing here is particularly exciting. Again, knowing that I've passed a lot of blue and I don't expect to see good blue pack 2. So that kind of scores a point against these two guys here and the bounty. Don't like anything else. I'm going to take the Destined to Lead, and maybe wind up getting paid for that final reward because in the black-green deck, I would rather have one synchronized strike, one final reward than two synchronized strikes. Here, so we get a bit of a difficult pick. We have a card that fits in the red-white deck, and a card that fits in the black-green deck. Both kind of overall equal on power level. Definitely be one of those two. I think I'm tending towards the Quarry Hauler just because I've got 3 cards for that deck right now and only 2 in the other. And I haven't seen a lot of good whites, I think, that snapped up. So I'm going to take the Quarry Hauler and assume that black-green is more than likely the direction we're going in here. And yeah, could black-green prefer a Blighted Bat or an Unburdened? Probably not a Giant Spider. I'm going to take the Bat. I like to stock up on creatures early so I can just make sure I've got the fundamentals of the deck and then I can build around it later. Watchers of the Dead is also actually playable in the red-white deck, so there's an argument that I could have taken the Pathmaker last turn and still had another 2-drop to add to the mix, but I think we're going in the black-green direction here, so I'm going to take Blighted Bat. Wow. So this is the pack we opened, and none of the good blue cards got taken. So I was totally wrong. No one's in blue? Oh man. I get forced into blue all the time, and I don't really mind, but I feel like I should diversify a little bit. Dune Beetle's not good enough to grab here. The question here is, which two would I rather, these two, or do I just grab the Drake because it cycles? But I don't really like to splash something like the Drake. I think the Vizier is the more unique effect here, which is important in a format that has this much stuff going on. I'm going to take the Skirmisher. Okay, so blue is becoming a possibility again here. If I'm blue, am I likely black blue or white blue, or green blue? Because I would actually prefer the Vizier. It's really good. Yeah, let's go with a higher power level card and just see what happens. Notably, the Drake did get snapped up. That didn't come around. So back to some red stuff. None of these are good. Unburdened is maybe playable, so I'll grab that. Here's some good black stuff. Vizier is definitely the best here. Still not a card I really like to play, but it's fine. Here comes some more good blue card. Oh, wow. Okay, it's going to be really hard to say no to blue. It doesn't look like we're either white or red, so I'm going to move those over to the side right now. And, yeah, it looks like we're in black. The question is blue versus green, I think. And Drakehaven's a pretty quick answer to that. Let's look through the pack, obviously, but Drakehaven can be downright busted, especially when we have a Vizier, 2 hierographic eliminations, a pivotal Vizier for more cycling payoff, Unburdened is more cycling, Shadowstorm Vizier is more cycling payoff, so tons of cycling payoff already, and Drakehaven is pretty busto. What else is good here? Again, we said we kind of, assuming we're out of red or white, there's no red here anyway, none of the white is amazing. Catcher the Ken is good. This is fine, but it means white-green. Cartouche is also a very good card, no doubt there. As is Hoodie B. But I think it just looks like we're going in the black-blue cycling direction. because giving up a Synchronized Strike, a Quarry Hauler, and Destined to Lead in exchange for the Drakehaven deck is a price I'm certainly willing to pay. And just given how much blue went around, I can expect, to my surprise, to see it keep coming. So let's grab that and see what happens. What else we got here? New Perspectives is a pretty good card. It also might come around because it's kind of difficult to play. So this is tough actually. The Drake is good, certainly very flexible. It might be the pick here just because it cycles, and it's a good creature in its own right. Wander and Death, similar for the same reason, but a little better in black-green where you're bringing back bombs than, I mean, Angler Drake is still kind of a bomb, but not in the same way. In my opinion, it's really Drake versus New Perspectives. Open to Wonder gets a mention because it's a fine card, as does Attack Route because having 2 drops to block is good, but these tend to come around. As do the Drakes, to be fair, so I'm almost tempted to take the New Perspective, just get the more unique card, and I don't think we're ever in a situation where we have 7 or more cards and we're just going nuts, although we do have the Vizier, which is part of that combo. Yeah, I'm going to take the New Perspectives, and I might regret it, but losing a Drake isn't that big of a cost, especially when it appears that blue is pretty open. Okay, what do we get here? Oh, I like that card. I don't think we're in the ramp deck, and like green is just on the fringe of getting kicked out, so I'm not going to take it, but I'm salivating a little bit. What else is good here? Wander Death is good, or I want to get our creature count up though, so I'm not going to take that. Nest of Scarabs is fine, but in the wrong deck. Basically, it's going to be either Cursed Minotaur or Naga Oracle. Illusory Wrappings is fine too, but I don't want that right now. That's something I'll kind of concede to later. And the Cartouche is fine too, but when you're in blue-black, you tend to have flyers already, so your upside isn't as much as when you're slapping it on a Scale Behemoth. So it goes down in value when you're not pairing it with giant green fatties. I think I take the Cursed Minotaur here. Just try to keep my curve a little bit lower and respect the aggro decks in the format, and at the same time, it does fight better if I need to be aggressive myself. So Naga Oracle's fine, but I'm gonna take the Cursed Minotaur. Alright, how about here? So now our stuff is suddenly starting to dry up a little bit, which is a little bit sad, but okay, let's assume the stuff is out for now anyway. I can take the Illusory Wrappings because it is removal, and this deck is on the slower side. I could also take the Canyon Slough and consider the sideboard potential for that, and also it's just worth a ticket. Which is always worth considering when your next best pick is an Illusory Wrappings, which might not even make the deck. Not an easy pick. Notable, the green cards here are half decent too. Oh boy. I think I'm going to take Canyon Slough. Illusory Wrappings just isn't that good. And you seldom want to play more than one on the deck, and I think I can grab one later, so let's go over the Canyon Slough and just assume that that's going to work out. Okay, so now all the blue is starting to dry up, and I don't really know what's going on. I guess people were taking some blue cards, but given how much high-quality stuff came around, I would have assumed that it was fine, but who knows? This is it's the game we play. So here, do I want a Supernatural Stamina, which is not good with most of our creatures, the exception of Angler Drake so far. I could also just take an Evolving Wilds, which I like just fine. Yeah, I'm gonna take that just because right now we're still kind of hedging on black on red or green as the color I might play. So I'm gonna grab the wilds. What about here? Okay, Labyrinth Guardian is a pretty easy pick here. Very good card. Yeah, there's just nothing to talk about here. Red white appears to be open, but I didn't see the cards coming around for it anyway, other than the 2 that I picked up here. So I'm not going to grab that, and maybe just the cards aren't there, or maybe there's someone drafting red-black and there's someone drafting white-green. So the deck hasn't really come together, and then therefore no one wants this, surprisingly. But that could be my explanation for that. So yeah, it's going to be the Lab Guardian pretty easily here. Hierographic Illumination is fine, but I got 2 of them for free last round, so that's that. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So I can take the Top Crop Skirmisher and play the safer pick. I'll always want to play at least one of those, and that's probably the pick here. But given that I've got the Evolving Wilds, I'm tempted. I'm looking at the Ava Wing guide just because it's a terrific card. Although I don't have a lot of Embalm so far, so the payoff doesn't seem to really be there. And frankly, if I'm seeing one this late already, I could see it even later. I didn't notice the Soul Stinger there until just now, which is worth a mention too. Um, uh, yeah, you know what? Maybe the Soul Stinger is actually just better than the Skirmisher. Let's grab that. Now, okay, so I'm wrong about green white being open because that's an incredibly dirty card. But we're not going to take it. There's no use for a Frost. Basically, I'm just going to grab the Illumination just in case we wind up short on playables. I can just run that as a cycler. Works fine with Drakehaven. I'm not going to want to deliberately play three of them. That's excessive. But I'll grab it here. So here we are again. Miasmic Mummy, a pretty easy pick here. That will mean I prioritize more Embalm going forward a little bit. So if I already had the Mummy, would I have still taken the Soul Stinger over the 2-1? Probably, just because this also does fill the two drop slot, but it's a worthwhile worthwhile thing to think about when you get cards like Miasmic Mummy and Blood Rage Brawler, whatever it's called, just to try to mitigate the downside of your own discard. Yeah, I'll take the Skirmisher. Oh, Wandering Death is also really nice. But I'm going to take the Skirmisher. I just want to get my creature count up. I want early defense. Yeah, okay, and there's that Illusory Wrappings I knew would come around. I do prefer that to the Naga Oracle and Wandering Death. So, snap that up here. And none of these are getting played. But I guess I would prefer to be open to turning a corner into green if we get something crazy like the Hydra, whatever it's called. Take a Painful Lesson. Don't want to play it, but do what I gotta do. And I'll take a Shadow of the Grave because I got a new perspective, so I can I actually might. No, I won't, but I almost will play that. You know what I mean? It's on the fringe of being on the fringe. And if this really goes in an all-in direction, for example, if we opened another Drakehaven here, I might just do that. I might just grab the Drakehaven and just prioritize anything with cycling and just go nuts. So, a fun card to have gotten my hands on there, even though I'm pretty sure I'm not going to play it. But would be a bit of a rush to play that in limited. I think the pick here is Seeker. Fill out my 2-drop slot a little bit. Synergize with Drakehaven, just a good card in the control deck anyway. Cartouche Ambition also noteworthy here. This is actually the more reasonable version of Shadow of the Grave, but not going to get going with that. Floodwaters is fine, Doom Disruptor is fine, Grimstrider fine, Heckma Sentinels is actually good in this deck, but I do prefer the Seeker still, so I'm going to grab that. Okay, some interesting stuff here. Drake is almost certainly the pick, just because it gives me a cycler and a body to put a 5, which is light right now with just the final reward. Faith of the Devoted is also worth looking at. How many cyclers do I have? I need to be mindful of that with Haven as well. So I've got Mummy counts because it discards Unburden 2, Vizier 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to play all 3, so I'll call it 5. I only got 5 right now. So yeah, so I'd prefer to grab the support card for the archetype rather than the payoff card because the payoff isn't actually that strong yet. And Faith of the Devoted, not as good as Drakehaven. It's really, you want to have like 8 to 10 or more cycling outlets to make that work. So I'm going to grab the Shimmer Scale Drake here, pass up a few decent white cards, but I don't think I'm splashing white, if I'm splashing at all. Yep, get in there, buddy. Floodwater is also worth looking at, but just not worth looking at that long. Okay, so that makes me revisit the white splash a little bit. I'm unlikely to see either the Fanfare or Compulsory Arrest from the last pack make its way around. So, and this is my only white card, just isn't good enough. This is not a playable card. So I think it's actually just between the Seeker and the Cartouche. I'm only at 12 creatures, and I do like double like Seeker works with Drakehaven because it discards, and it does. It's important for a slow deck to shore up the aggro matchups, and this does, block 2/1s or force Necrop, Entanglers, and Gustwalkers to exert all day. So I think that's what I want over the Cartouche. There's nothing here I really care about giving flying to. Like the Pitiless Vizier, sure, because a 5/3 flyer, that's good. But other than that, it's just not. It doesn't belong in the deck. So take one if I have to, but I'd prefer the Seeker. Okay, how about here? So Patra, sadly, I don't have much in the way of synergy for her, so I'm not going to pick her. Cartouche might just be the pick in order to get some low-scale removal, but also fight back with some beats. I do have a few larger creatures, some with evasion to put it on, so it's playable there. Lord of the Accursed is obviously a good card, but right now all I have is I've got 3 zombies and 2 embalmers. So, and it's just a half decent body on its own. That's actually a really tough pick. I think I want to go with the Cartouche, but it's really tight. I'm going to grab the Lord, and maybe wind up regretting that. Hopefully not. What do we have here? Okay, I don't need the Trial of Knowledge because I've got 3 Hieroglyphic Illumination. So I don't need that. Horror is probably the pick here. It's a cycler, it's big, wears a Cartouche nicely, so I'm kind of wishing I had grabbed that now, but I think Lord is still, I don't know, that was a really tight pick in my mind. I don't need another attack crop just yet, and Oracle's Vault is a good card, but I already have tons of card advantage that's less dirtily, so pretty easy horror here. And moving into this pick, would I rather a Floodwaters, some pseudo removal, or a Scarab Feast, which is basically only useful to nerf Glyph Keeper from coming back. I think it's Floodwaters. I think it's the better card here. Yeah, just gonna grab that. Okay, Heckma Sentinels is a very good card to come around for us. Yeah, okay, if I knew we were getting that, I wouldn't have taken the Lord. I would have taken the Cartouche over it, just because this is better than the Lord in this deck. This is also almost, not that, this is almost worth looking at. But the deck just isn't aggressive. So, or is it? Let's see if this deck is surprisingly aggro. Sometimes that happens, because I've got 6 2-drops. Well, I'll play all of them, but I've got 6. No, the Sentinels is just better. It's still a good blocker, good 2-way card, and I've got tons of cycling, so I think it's better than Pitiless Vizier, and I'd like having 1 of each rather than 2 Viziers. What else are we going to get here? Great. Well, it's cool to have that on video, because if I need to make a claim that I got some janky cards. Oh boy, that's no fun. Well, hurry up. That's gonna suck if something really valuable came around and I missed it because of the disconnect. Hopefully we were quick enough and only missed 1 pick. Now the slow load just to rub it in. I'm going to try to focus very quickly on what the next pick is, rather than what garbage I was handed. Okay, 14 seconds here. Another Heckma Sentinel seems fine. Maybe Grimstrider just to give me a better long game. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to take the Scribe, actually. I don't think I'm going to play it anyway. Okay, there's the Faith of the Devoted. I would like to take that as a maybe backup payoff card. What am I taking out of here? I don't want any of this. I guess this is okay if, because I don't have a cancel, just in case someone tries to Sandworm converges us or something, and we just have it in time. It's the only card that's remotely playable, or it's in our colors at all. So we grab that, get that. You're not getting played, but I'll take you anyway. Okay. What did we get handed? Was it the Blazing Volley? I wonder what we could have had instead. Well, I guess we'll never know. Okay, get the red stuff out of here. Get the basics out of here. And I'm pretty sure you get the Evolving Wilds out of here. I might run the Canyon Slough anyway, just as a cycler. Because we have... Where's my Heckma Sentinels? Oh, it didn't give me the Heckma Sentinels. Oh, that is garbage. Was that the pick it connected on? Pretty sure I took it. Okay, anyway, that's how this draft went. A bit of a train wreck at the end there with the disconnect, and I think they screwed up a card. But, okay, let's just work with what we've got. I won't play the Evolving Wilds. I will play the Canyon Slough. Just for more cycling, it's got some long game value there. I'll side it out in aggressive matchups where I can't afford to dirtle around and cycle a land. Do I want all the 1-drops here? I don't think I want a main deck Shadow of the Grave. It's too bad it doesn't just get back any cyclers like that blue card. 16 creatures here. Do I want a main deck Faith the Devoted? Okay, let's do a little cycling count here. 1. Okay, I don't want to open. Oh, that's what it gave us to open into Wonder? Rather than Heckma Sentinels? I might have clicked on it because we were thinking about it. That's really frustrating. Okay. I'm not playing all 3 of those. Let's get ourselves a cycling count. Yeah, and that could have been Heckma Sentinels too. I mean, that's kind of 50-50, I guess. We do have 3 other zombies. Miasmic, Bladed Bat, and Curse Minotaur. And then 2 things that embalm. So, yeah, that's kind of 50-50. You cycle, you don't get played. You don't get played. Although you would have gotten played if I knew we didn't have the Heckma Sentinels already. That's actually kind of the deck. Just because there's enough cycling. What else cycles? You guys, you count as pseudo cycling. Just for trigger purposes. You cycle. I'm gonna put the payoff card over here. Put the payoff card over here. Miss anything? You're a pseudo cycler. And then might as well lump the other payoff cards. Lump the other payoff cards in together. So this lets us look at kind of like the heart of the combo side of the deck. So we've got 8 cyclers, which is a good number. 8 cyclers, 3 pseudo cyclers, 4 payoff cards. The question is whether to run the Faith of the Devoted or not. I don't need to cut a card. I can run 16 lands, but I kind of want to run 17. I've got a lot of card draw, a little bit of embalm here, so I've got a lot of things to do with my mana. And our creature count is potentially high for a black-blue kind of deck. So let's also take a look. Our removal is light, sadly. Basically, all we have there. Angler Drake is temporary removal. Floodwater is temporary removal. Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure I like this deck too much, but Heckma Sentinels would make it a bit better. So I'm tempted to cut a creature. I think top of the list is Miasmic Mummy. I only have 2 cyclers, or 2 embalmers to take advantage of it with. And it's just not that good. It becoming a 3/3 with Lordly Curse doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be particularly aggressive. could bring it in a more controlling matchup to help apply early pressure and just strip a card from their hand if I wanted to play the beatdown role. But I think that probably comes out in the main. I already have 4 other 2-drop creatures, and it also takes the pressure off black in the 2-drop slot, so it's a little more forgiving of a heavier blue mana base, which this looks like it will be at least slightly. So other options, basically it's either Miasmic Mummy, Faith of the Devoted, Unburden, it's one of those. And I'm going to take out the Mummy because I want to drop the creature count. Keep the non-creature count high because that matters for Seekers. And it fits the flow of the deck a little bit better to be interacting more. And the Mummy just doesn't fit. So okay, let's sort these back the way we wanted to. Let's separate the creatures just for the heck of it. And yeah, so it's a really nice creature curve. Nice and down low, primarily for defensive purposes. With a good top end beater. I am glad we wound up taking that and doing the crazy 5 colors, 5 picks thing. And on the spell side, we have some pretty good stuff in them. I'm pretty happy with this. Things I would have liked to change, as I've noted about a billion times, Lord of the Accursed for Heckma Sentinels would be an upgrade in this deck. I also think I would have taken the Cartouche of Ambition. I think that was also in competition with the Lord. Probably over maybe the Illusory Wrappings, at least main. Bring the Wrappings in just for some fat green stuff or something like that. Otherwise, I guess it went okay. Not a ton to say about it. I'm neither happy nor dissatisfied, and I want to go back and watch the video and see which card it was that we got screwed up. I think what it was is they gave us the Open into Wonder instead of the Heckma Sentinels. But we'll see. So add those to the deck. Here's the deck. Let's save it. And that's a wrap.